What's next is a cabinet meeting because we've done a major reorganization of government that took a long time and a lot of hours. And we have to make sure that we've got the restructuring of government going on. So we have to affirm some of those decisions. And then we also have to, I'll be working on writing out the mandate letters for each of the cabinet ministers. There's so much that's been accomplished. There were 375 items that were put in the platform. I believe that we've accomplished 300 of them. We have to see which others we can accomplish before we get into the election. I'll be consulting with my ministers to see what their priorities are. And then there were also a number of issues that were raised by the leadership candidates during the campaign. So all of that has to be put into a mandate document, which will probably come out in the next week or two. That'll be the next priority. I think you have to look at what's happening at the departmental level. The size of government is at the level of the department and the public service that I'm most concerned about. This really is a restructuring, and quite frankly, we need to focus, have a serious focus on all of the areas that will allow us to diversify the economy. I feel like over the years, there have been a number of areas that have just been smooshed into other ministries and not given the attention they deserve. It's why forestry and parks is in a separate area with tourism. It's also the reason why technology has been pulled out as a separate ministry. You'll see as well agriculture has a firm focus so we can stay focused on that particular area. Obviously energy, I needed to bring that department back together so that our minister, Pete Guthrie, can focus both on oil sands as well as conventional oil and gas. So there is a reason why I felt it was important to have additional ministries, because they're going to be really important economic drivers and they all deserve specialized attention. But I think the proof will be in looking at the full-time equivalents across the entire public service. And we have an intention to make sure that that is where we're finding our cost savings. The issues that we know are going to make the most difference to patients. And the first one is getting our emergency medical services operating, our ambulance service, so that we do have an efficient way of getting people to hospital and onboarded at hospital. We also have a strategy for making sure once people are admitted into the emergency room, they get effective treatment rather than waiting for hours. And then we're going to be using our underutilized facilities to start developing enhanced surgical initiatives. I think you will see us move very quickly on those, and then we'll be able to reassess the next steps in the new year. This is the reason why we are sending our own delegation, is I don't believe that we're being properly represented by Environment Minister Stephen Guilbeault. He clearly is hostile to our oil and gas sector. He's clearly trying to step into areas he's got no business regulating when it comes to the oil and gas cap. We have the TIER program, so we do occupy that legislative space in putting a price on emissions. That price goes into supporting all of the great technology that we want to develop. I also fear that the federal minister is not as enthusiastic about all forms of hydrogen as we are, and we want to make sure that our hydrogen with carbon capture, that the world knows that we're prepared to be moving forward aggressively on that. And we also want to be able to talk with the German delegation about how we might be able to get Alberta LNG into their market on a long-term basis. So I just think that the federal government, and Stephen Guilbeault in particular, has demonstrated he's not the advocate that we need for Alberta. So we will be sending a delegation who can. I guess I find it distasteful when billionaires brag about how much control they have over political leaders, as the head of that organization has. And I think that that is offensive. The people who should be directing government are the people who vote for them. And the people who vote for me and for my colleagues are people who live in Alberta and who are affected by our decisions. And so, quite frankly, until that organization stops bragging about how much control they have over political leaders, I have no interest in being involved with them. My focus is here in Alberta, solving problems for Albertans with the mandate from Albertans.